Hi, Stevie. How are you? How is everything with you today? I have a new computer, so I want to make sure you could see me, hear me, and all that good stuff. So, yes, you could hear me, see me. Hi, Beth. How are you? Who else is here? So people are live and then people watch recorded. So I want to make sure I say hello to everyone. Welcome. And today we're going to focus on posture because it is such a critical aspect of bone health. And, it's funny because it's probably an area we don't think of focusing on. And when I think about the topics and what I want to focus on, I think about posture and I would think, that's not going to be a fan favorite. Fan favorite is strength, strong hips, better balance. Nobody thinks about their posture, yet that is where most of the strength needs to be, is in our posture. So we minimize spinal wedge fractures. So super interesting. Carolyn, hi. Okay, good. You could see me and you could hear me. All right. And the rest of you could see me and hear me. New computer. So I want to make sure that I've got everything lined up and ready to go. So any questions or comments you'd like to share with me? Anything new and exciting this week? Any burning questions about bone health? Because that is stuff that I'd really like to know about. What is it you want to know the most about? Because I'm creating a lot of new content and I want to be able to figure out what it is to share. I mean, I have my ideas, which mostly honestly come from conversations with women that have osteoporosis. So if you have something in particular, please share or ask away. Posture. Good. Posture is critical. I think that when we start to think about posture is if we start to get rounded in our spine. But before that, we don't think about it, yet it's critical when it comes to bone health. So, all right, we're going to get ourselves ready to practice. Make sure my lights are on. Perfect. Okie dokie. Make sure I don't trip on anything in my way. All right. Let the fire engines go by. All right, so today yoga therapy for osteoporosis is going to focus on posture. And why does posture matter? Well, even if you don't look like this, even if that's not what your body looks like, or maybe you do notice that you have some rounding in the upper body. And there's many factors to that, right? There's the physical aspects of us doing stuff all day long, our whole life without correcting our posture. So that's one aspect, but also there's the weight of the world and of your life on your shoulders. And the longer we live and the more stress that we're under, this contributes to this position. The thing that's important to note is that half of all the fractures are in our spine. And we don't know when that happens. It usually either there is a lot of pain and someone will go and get an x-ray, or when the doctor is doing their diagnoses, if they notice a shortening in the space between the lower ribs, the top, the pelvis, or they see a rounding in the spine or a severe loss of height, they'll run an x-ray on the spine to look for compression fractures. That's what they're called, spinal compression fractures. And the front of our spine is soft, spongy bone. It's the honeycomb aspect of bone. And if you're pushing down on the front of your bone all the time, and then especially if you're doing different movements, moving especially with rotation with that forward flexion, then you're going to create a lot of pressure on the front of the spine and you might get spinal wedge compression fractures, which are stress fractures, stress from postural malalignment, stress from life, and not raising our awareness to the need to shift and to manage our stress in our physical body, stress in our mental, emotional body. So we're going to focus on postures that will improve posture. Now, when we do yoga therapy for osteoporosis, we are doing postures, not poses. We're not trying to get into something and then stay there. We're constantly refining, lowering the shoulders, sliding the shoulder blades towards each other, working to get more refined in that alignment of our joints. We're going to do that in today's practice. Now, as always, you do what's appropriate for you and your body. So every body is different and everybody is different. So our physical body and then us as people. Do what you can. We're going to do some postures on the floor, do some postures on our knees or in a kneeling position on all fours, and then we'll go to standing. And this gives us the opportunity to challenge ourselves in different ways. And whatever you do is great because you're here, and the whole time you're here, if you stay present in your mind, if you focus on your breath, if you work on strengthening muscles, strengthening bones, creating flexibility in your muscles, in your joints, all of that is good. So no matter what variation, no matter what degree you're able to get to, anything you do is good and you're here. So that is what we're going to focus on. For today's practice, having a wall would be great because some of the postures we're going to do that work on the side body are really challenging, and being near a wall can help to support the body weight. And if you don't have a wall, that's okay. The back of a chair, the back of a sofa, something to move yourself up against. Because when we start to do side body work, it's really challenging, especially for females. We don't usually have the upper body strength to hold our body up away from the ground with just our arms. So having a wall could be helpful. A blanket, a strap, a block, a chair if you need that when we do the standing postures for balance, whatever it is you need. So make sure you gather whatever it is you need, and then we'll begin the practice. So I'm in a standing position and I want to talk to you about getting down onto the ground. Getting down onto the ground and getting up from the ground becomes a challenge for many as they age. And part of that is loading into the joints, especially if there's arthritis. So let's do this. Take a really wide stance. Take a wide stance. So take a wide stance. Make sure that you don't have anything slippery on your feet. I have socks, but these socks are actually have some traction on them. We're going to come down through a squatted position. Now that can be really a lot of loading in the hip, a lot of loading in the knees. So see if what this feels like for you. Taking your hands on your thighs, heels on the thighs. So I'm in a forward position with my body. And then I'm going to slowly lower down until I come to the ground all the way. Keeping the spine nice and long, because keeping that safe spinal space is critical for posture, for spinal health. Safe spinal space, the space below the heart and the belly button. Right here, making sure you don't compress the front of your spine down onto itself. So making sure you do that in whatever range of motion you chose to come down onto the ground. And then we're going to take the block and the strap and put them off to the side. And today we're going to use a blanket. Now, if you have a different method or props that you'd like to use for posture, for supporting spinal extension, choose that. I'm going to do this with a blanket. I really do love this. I love to do this with a blanket. I think that it gives a pretty high elevation off the ground, and it only supports the spine. So there's a lot of gravitational pulling on the body that starts to stretch some of the muscles that get tight from our daily activities of living. So take the blanket, roll the blanket up into a cylinder, rolling the blanket up into a cylinder. Now, depending on what type of blanket you have or a towel, this is a pretty thick, dense blanket. So there's a real high elevation from the ground. So this is actually going to be a little bit intense for a back bend. So choosing whatever it is that you need, the shorter the blanket, then the lighter weight of the blanket, the less opening. And then when you come down, making sure you maintain your safe spinal space. This is where core muscles come in handy to help you move safely throughout your day and your body. So we will work on some core muscles today, some structural and stabilizing muscles of the trunk. And then the arm position, you decide. You could go straight out to the side. If you have any kind of shoulder issues, you could bring your arms down to the side. I do recommend that you begin with your knees bent, feet are flat, feet a little wider than the body and knees resting on each other. Take your arms alongside your body, lift your head, tuck your chin down towards your chest so you have a nice long neck. And then take a few moments to arrive here, closing your eyes, close your mouth, and begin to breathe. Breathing in and out through your nose, letting your body relax into this position, letting any muscular tension and protection soften as you start to feel safe in this position, as your body feels safe in this position. Make sure your back neck is nice and long. Let's do a little side to side action with the head, because often when we start to do a back bend, the neck, spine, and neck muscles and the low back muscles start to respond to us bending the middle spine. So let's take tension out of the upper back and neck with gentle side to side movement. Take your exhale to let you come into the stretch, and the inhale to go back up to center. Exhale into the opposite side stretch. Inhale back up to center. Exhaling into the stretch, and then inhaling back up to center. Go slow, go with breath. You inhale and exhale into the stretch. And when you're feeling like you have taken the tension out of your neck, you could stop, bringing yourself back to a neutral position. Letting your arms go higher to bring in more stretch if that's what you need, or leaving them where they are. So try to find a position where you feel stretched. And the stretch typically is in the shoulders, the armpits, the chest, the area where the arms attach to the body. And quite often in the upper back and neck, as we manipulate the thoracic spine where the ribs are attached. The next place for tension to move to would be the upper back and neck. So coming into a place where you feel that stretch in your body. If you leave your knees bent, or if it feels better to go to straight legs, do that. You could explore going into a straight leg position, see how it feels. And if it's too much tension in the low back, it doesn't feel good, coming back to the bent knee. So choose whatever feels right for you today in your body. We put our body in these shapes. We use props to help facilitate certain opening, certain areas of stretch. And mouth is closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Your spine has 26 vertebrae. The front of the spine is made more out of honeycomb bone, and the back of the spine is made out of the harder cortical bone. So let's get familiar with our spine. Breathe to our spine, bring awareness to our spine as we use our awareness today to focus on improving spinal health, improving posture. So first, I want you to breathe to your neck. There's 7 vertebrae in your neck. So as you breathe in, let your awareness go to your neck. Feel your neck expand. Feel the breath come into the neck, gently caressing the neck, bringing in vital oxygen that the body uses to make cellular energy. Bringing awareness into these 7 vertebrae, noticing what you notice. Do you notice any tension in your neck? Bringing your awareness now to the next set of vertebrae. There's 12 bones attached to your ribs. It's known as the thoracic spine. The most fractures occur in the lower 5 bones in this part of your body, and this is an area to pay attention to. So as you breathe into your 12 vertebrae, starting right at the top of the upper back, going down to about the belly button area. So as you breathe into the front of your spine here. Noticing as you breathe in, it stretches the rib cage a little more. Notice if you feel a more stretch happening in your body when you breathe here. You could visualize the 12 vertebrae, the front of the vertebra. It's the widest part of the vertebra. You have some outside bone, like the outside of a honeycomb chocolate bar, and the inside of the vertebra are more like the honeycomb. Breathe to that part of your spine, the honeycomb, the front part of the spine. And with the breath, more expansion of the rib cage, which moves the ribs, which moves the spine, stretching the muscles of respiration, muscles in the rib cage. The next part of your spine is the 5 low back bones, the lumbar spine. This is the biggest part of the spine. The vertebra, the circular, the diameter and circumference of these bones are the biggest. This is where a lot of structure in the spine. This is where a lot of people have low back discomfort and issues because this is the part of your spine that is managing what's above and what's below. 5 vertebrae here, and the top 2 are the ones that are fractured with compression wedge fractures, right around the belly button down to the top of your pelvis. Breathe to the belly, breathe to this part of your spine. The last 2 vertebrae in the spine are embedded in the pelvis, the sacrum and the tailbone. Sacrum is a triangular shaped bone, and then the tailbone. So breathing now down to your sacrum and your tailbone. Feel the downward pressure as you breathe in and down. Feel the pressure down to the sacrum, down to the tailbone. May actually relieve a little tension in the low back. And then taking your awareness off of the spine in a precise way. Let these last few breaths go up and down your spine, coming in your nose down to your tailbone, and on the exhale from the tailbone up and out of your body. Couple of breaths, letting your awareness go up and down your spine. And then let your breath go back to your body to breathe itself. Bringing your awareness into your body to a fully outstretched position, stretching yourself in this position. Do a couple of arm movements, bringing your elbows down to your waist, elbows up above your head like you're doing a jumping jack. Do whatever feels right for your body. Having that blanket there is going to deepen the stretch in the torso, in the spine, shoulders, chest. Moving your body, feel that. Feel your body moving. If you'd like to come into a static held position, you could clasp your hands reaching through the palms to the wall behind you, the soles of the feet to the wall away from you. Try to get your arms to go towards the ground as much as possible. If your low back is unhappy, activate your core, push your belly towards the floor, protecting your low back. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself, knees are bent, come onto your side. Let your spine go back into this position here. Noticing what you notice about that back bend spinal opener that you just did. And then take your hands on the ground. You're going to use your hand and your elbow, not your head, to bring yourself all the way up and out. So I'll share with you what I experienced to see if you're experiencing some of those same sensations. I experienced a lot of opening, a lot of stretching in the under armpit area and right where my arms attach. And I feel movement down here when I'm in this position. When I breathe to different areas of my spine, especially to the lower, I actually feel some low back relief when I breathe down to my lower spine as well. Then when I come into a fully outstretched position, I feel the stretch in my belly, and I feel some of the erector muscles that are going up and down my spine. Now I have a lot of body awareness. Maybe that's not something you have knowledge of yet. I find that the more we can understand the musculature of our body, the more we can isolate it and use different aspects of it to help keep ourselves strong and healthy as we age. And then when I clasp my hands, I really feel a lot of stuff happening. And I notice, where am I feeling tension in my body? And then my awareness went to, I've been working a lot lately, sitting at a computer, so I need to take more posture breaks throughout the day. So these are the kinds of things when we do our practice, when we're present moment. It's also a little nudge that says, hey, are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing what you need to do? And that raised awareness, self-care, is something that we all need to do more of on a daily basis. So let's prepare ourselves to do some more movement, more lubrication of our joints to keep our body safe, so that when we start to do some of the stronger postures, we have that nice movement in our body. Noticing, are you slouching? Are you closing off your safe spinal space? Always trying to maintain the length in the spine. Put your blanket on your mat, and if you have knee issues, get something to pad your knees if you need a little more than a blanket. Let's come into a total front body, back body opener. Take your hands wide and forward, thumbs are on the mat. Take your knees wide, flatten your toes onto the mat. Start to bring your pelvis forward and then bring your pelvis back up. Keep your head looking forward, so lubricating the hips, lubricating the shoulders, going a little slow here to bring this into your body. Slowly paying attention to how your body feels when you do this. See if you can start going a little closer to the floor with your pubic bone and your pelvis. Notice when you do that, what happens to your shoulder. going slow to introduce the range of motion in your joints. Keep your teeth together. When you bring your chin up to the sky, you'll feel a stretch in your neck. And then now start to push back a little. Pushing back and bringing yourself up. Pushing back. Now we're in the hips. We're lengthening the spine. Keep your head lifted. When you have your arms straight like this, the shoulder blades stay on the upper spine. And as you bend properly in the hip joint, not in the spine. So training your body to bend safely throughout the day. Not bending the spine, but bending in the hip. If you're able to go all the way back and put your forehead on the ground, try that. Bringing yourself up, bringing yourself back, whatever it is you're able to do. Try to get your forehead and your nose to touch. If you're able to get your chin to touch, you could try that. A deeper stretch, not available to everyone. And on your next one, you're going to come forward into the back bend, stretching the front body, and then back into the hip flexion to stretch the back body. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more. And then bring yourself up. So we're going to come down onto the ground. So let's bring your knees to the very back of your blanket. Bring your hands forward. We're going to go down with some strengthening for the upper body. This can be a challenge, so pay attention to all the alignment aspects, keeping your spine nice and long. The hands are long. You're going to start to look forward, bend your elbows and lower down into the triceps. See if you could go slow the whole way, keeping your elbows down. You need to have your pelvis forward when you do this. Then bring your pelvis back down onto the blanket. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Make sure they're underneath and they're not out to the side. So your elbows are only about 8 inches apart from each other. Spread your hands, let your toenails touch the ground. Push your heart forward, lengthen your torso, pull your rib cage away from your pelvis as you lower yourself down onto the ground. And then take your elbows out to the side, fold the hands one on top of each other. Neck is long as you put the forehead onto the back of the hands. Exhale. As you inhale, your nose is pushing a marble away, bending your neck, starting to bend your upper back as you lift your head up off the floor, and then you exhale to lower. You inhale, let your nose feel like it's pushing a marble away, feel the back of the neck bending. Now you bring that movement up into the upper spine, into the thoracic spine, the upper back. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Close your eyes. Feel the parts of you that is stretching. The neck spine is moving. You're activating the back of the neck muscles, the upper back muscles that help to hold you in that nice alignment position. So starting to strengthen upper neck, upper back. And you may feel this going down into your back near your shoulder blades. And then you'll feel the stretch in the front. So we lengthen the front, we contract the back. On the next one, you're going to come up and stay up. Push your elbows into the ground. Let your upper body hold the 10-pound head. Average head is 10 pounds. Let your upper back muscles work to hold your head in this position. Feeling that tension created in the upper back. Push the pubic bone into the floor. You could contract your tushy, pointing the tailbone away from you, trying to not round the lower back. So try to flatten out the lower back by pushing the pubic bone into the ground. Take one more breath. And then you're going to lengthen your neck, bring yourself down. Take your hands out to the side. Let the forehead rest on the floor. Elbows are directly off of your shoulders. Hands are spread. Exhale. As you inhale, a marble, pushing a marble made with your nose. Push your arms into the ground and lift your upper body. Now you'll feel the tension coming right around the area behind the heart. And exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Go slow and feel these muscles slowly contract in the back of your body to lift you away from the ground. Bending the spine, bending the cervical spine first, and then introducing that back bend to the thoracic spine. Your range of motion may not be that big. Let it be whatever it is. Feel it in your body. Feel the back muscles activate. One more, come up and stay up. Stay here. Push your hands and your arms, especially the arms right around the shoulders. Then push your heart forward. Try to bend your spine. Push your pubic bone into the floor. Feel the back muscles active here, holding you up against gravity. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Take your hands, take a rest. Feeling the work that's happening in the back of your body. Breathe down to your belly. That'll help with low back tension. Keep your left hand where it is. Take your right hand long. Exhale. Inhale, lift your right hand away from the ground and your left leg up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, right hand lifts and left leg lifts. Straight left leg, straight right arm, and lower. One more, come up and stay up. And then lower down. Take your right hand, rest the forehead on the back of the right hand. Take the left hand long. Exhale. As you inhale, lift the left hand up and the right leg. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. One more, inhale to rise. Stay here. Bring both hands down, take your legs wide, bend your knees, flop your feet back and forth side to side. So you're not trying to push your feet to the ground. You're not letting your pelvis rock too much here. Let your legs be heavy. Let the feet flop side to side. Releasing that low back tension. Now take your legs long. Let's come into the locust posture. Taking your hands down alongside your body, we're going to bend the spine. You have 2 in your pelvis, 5 in your low back, 12 where your ribs are, 7 at your neck. Try to get as much bend in those 12 in the middle of your back. Try to push the back of the spine into itself when you do your locust. Hands are alongside the body. Push your feet into the floor so the knees get active. And with that, protect your pelvis by tilting your pelvis, pushing your pubic bone towards the ground so you flatten out the low back or move towards flattening out the low back. Exhale. As you inhale, let your feet come away from the floor, your hands come away from the floor, and your upper body comes away from the floor. Push your pubic bone into the floor. That's what helps protect the low back and the locust. Reach long with your hands, reach long with your feet. High if you can. If you want to clasp, you could clasp your hands as long as they stay straight and stay off your body, or stay in the straight arm position. Reach long, bring your awareness to the back of your body. Close your eyes. Try to push the back of the spine into itself, pushing your heart forward. Bend your spine here. Deep breaths, mouth closed. Last breath. When you come down, turn your head to the left. Let your left cheek and left ear touch the floor. Let your shoulders round forward. Take your legs so they're as wide as your mat. Bend your knees. Let your knees flop side to side. If there's too much tension in your upper back and neck from this stretch, you could take your left arm out to the side. And if that's not enough relief, you could bend the left elbow so the left elbow comes off of your shoulders. So this is another way to pay attention to where tightness may exist in your joints, the shoulder joint and the spine. So thinking of paying attention throughout today's practice that focuses on posture, where do you have that tightness? Because the areas that get tight for posture are the upper back and neck and in the spine, and right where the chest muscles, shoulder muscles, and the upper body muscles. Then of course we have low body pulling on this area as well. Let's go to the other side and stretch the neck. So you tuck the chin down slightly, lift the head up, turn the head to the right. Let the right ear and the right cheek touch the floor. Noticing, usually one side is tighter than the other. So notice for you if that's the case. If you need relief, you could take your right arm out to the side. You could bend the elbow. Deep breaths, mouth is closed, breathe down to your belly. And then take one more breath. Bring your feet to a position straight up, away from your body. Tuck your chin down towards your chest. Turn your head towards the left. Take your right hand up and roll onto your side. From here, take your hand into the ground, pushing away, not letting your head do any work, not letting your upper back and neck muscles do any work, but starting to activate more of your upper body. Noticing how you feel so far. Lots of warm up for the body. So we're going to come into some planks. If you have socks on, you don't want your feet to slip. You may want to take socks off if you have your socks on. So we're going to do the first plank, taking your hands directly underneath. Modify your wrists in any way that you need. You either roll up the front of your mat or you get wedges or something to help with your wrists. You can also come on to fists for wrists so you're not bending the wrists. Or if you turn the hands out to the side, that's also less motion for the wrist joint. You decide what you need to do. And then come into whatever variation of plank you would like to come into. So you could come into the full version. You could let your tushy be a little higher here. And if you need to put your knees down, you could put your knees and your shins on the ground. So pick whatever is the right one for you. Now push away from the floor strongly with your hand. Your head is not hanging, so your gaze is in front of your mat. Then push through the heels strongly, so you feel the weight on your feet. Now push your feet into the floor strongly, pushing away from the floor with your feet. You'll be able to get a little pelvic tilt out of that, activating your core, pushing your belly up towards your low back. So come into this really strong position, strengthening the whole front body here in plank. If you want to add a little challenge, you could take one foot off, coming into a three-legged plank. And then switch. Don't have to do any of that. Working your way up, come out if you came into that. Work your way up to whatever is the right for you. Push your feet into the floor again. Get that little tilt, that tuck, that core action supporting the low back and the pelvis. Take one more breath and then bring yourself out. Bring yourself into a rest position, kneeling or sitting in crisscross legs. Close your eyes. Breathing in and out through your nose down to your pelvis. Really slow down your heart rate. Bring in a lot of oxygen with breath. One more breath. And then open your eyes. We're going to come into side plank. Now this strengthens the side of the body and the side of the spine, the side muscles. The action comes from the lower part of your body, your legs. So whether you have your knees on the ground and your shins and you're using that to push away from the ground to lift your pelvis, or you have the side of your pinky toe edge of your feet, then whatever side you're using. I want to show the modification. Here is one modification where you do this, where you're strengthening the side of your body. The other modification is this, where you could come down onto your elbow. Make sure it's right underneath your shoulder because you want to make sure you're not collapsing in your shoulder joint. You're really lifted. Your heart lights are forward. Your hip lights are forward. You're not letting your heart lights go down towards the ground. You push away from the ground with your lower legs. So that would be a modification. So the first one would be easier. This would be a little bit more challenging. And then if you're going to come into Vasisthasana full expression, then you're going to be coming onto the pinky toe edge of your foot. This is where having a wall can come in handy to keep you up and to give you something to bring your arm up to. So whatever variation you're going to come into the beginning. If you're going to come into the full version, keep your feet together. Lift your pelvis up as you roll onto your pinky toe edge. And then you push away from the floor, turn your heart forward, turn your hips forward, and then really push into the pinky toes to lift your pelvis. Don't let your pelvis hang down. Really lift your pelvis up. That's the action that really activates and stimulates the side body. You could use the wall with your hips. You could use the wall with your hand, pushing away, lifting up. Long spine here. Side of your body getting a lot of action. Push the legs into the ground, push the hands into the ground. Take one more breath. And then you bring yourself out. We're going to go to the other side. Take some deep breaths as you move slowly to the other side. Whatever variation you're going to do, set yourself up for that. Taking your hands onto the ground, bringing your feet behind you. Feet are together if you're coming into the full. And then you roll onto the side if that's what you're going to do. Use the wall there to help. Now, refine it. Push the pinky toe edge into the floor. Push your pelvis up. Push your hand, even the fingers, into the floor. Lengthen your spine, heart forward, hip lights forward. Use breath to help you manage the posture. Take deep, deep, deep breaths to bring in energy to help you manage this. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out, back to the place of slowing down the heart rate. Close your eyes, deep breaths here. Notice that the breath might be really high in your chest. Keep your elbows underneath your shoulders to help with posture. And breathe down to your pelvis. Last breath. And then blink your eyes open. So let's move into a few more postures. Get your props, your strap, and your block. Take your blanket and fold your blanket so you can sit on your blanket. Have your block nearby. We'll get our strap first. So coming to the front edge of your blanket, reach under and grab the flesh to move the flesh away, which will expose the base of your pelvis, allowing you to sit right out of your pelvis. So this posture is called Dandasana, staff pose, and it's to get this really strong angle in your hips and to get the back muscles to do the job to hold you in an upright seated position. Pretty challenging posture. So if you take your strap and you get this on your feet, making sure that when you do that, you don't round forward to reach your feet. that you keep yourself in a nice postural position. So when we practice this much awareness of how we're moving when we're practicing yoga, especially with the intention of posture, you can take that off the mat, take that into your life. So the feet do not touch. Keep your feet apart about 2 inches, and the soles of the feet are reaching away from you. Now push your legs strongly into the ground. That'll help you get a little bit more upright. Slide your elbows so that they're underneath your shoulders, or even back a little bit more. It's going to activate the back muscles. Now pull on the strap strongly. Push the strap away with your feet. Push out on the strap with the sides of the feet. Push your legs down. Get tall. Really have that nice posture. You can feel this in this posture because you feel all the muscles that it takes to keep you in this deep hip flexion. Push out on the strap with your pinky toes. Push away from you. Push your legs down strongly. That'll help you get a little taller in your spine. Elbows are pushing in, squeezing your waist, and then pull back strongly. Feel the back muscles activate. Now arrange your head. Chin parallel towards the ground. Push your head back so it's on top of your spine. Then let's do a little more here. Tuck the chin down and push the chin back and up. See if you can get an inch or 2 taller. Lower your shoulders, slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep all that activity going. Push into the pinky toe edges, push the feet away. Push the legs down, pull back on the strap, squeeze in with the elbows. Pinch the shoulder blades towards each other, push the shoulders down, chin back and up. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. Take the strap off. So let's get the block, put the block on the left side. Bend your left knee and hold on to your left knee with both hands. Elbows are active and out to the side. Active right foot. Push the right foot down, push the left foot down. Take the hand, the left hand on the block behind you, and push down on the block behind you. Push the right leg, the left foot, and push down on your block. Exhale. As you inhale, move the lower ribs to the left. Now move the middle ribs to the left. Now move the upper ribs to the left. Lower your shoulders, slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Push your heart forward, get tall in your body. Chin parallel towards the ground. Lift your right elbow. So constantly refining this. Push the right leg down, left foot down. Right elbow is lifted. Lower the shoulders, push away from the block. Take your hand off the block for a second. Make sure you're not leaning on it. You're pushing away from it. Lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Push your shoulder blades forward to stretch that upper spine. Try to stretch the space between each vertebra in your thoracic spine, right? Starting at your belly button all the way up to the top of your torso, right? Where your neck begins. Stretch those spine bones, the muscles. Lower the shoulders. Take one more breath. With length in your body, stay tall as you unwind. Push the block over to the other side. Come all the way out. Bend your right leg. The hand goes on the block behind you. So the right hand is on the block. Left leg is active. Right leg is active. Left elbow stays nice and active. Push down with your feet to get tall. Exhale. Now the lower ribs, inhale. Middle ribs, inhale. Upper ribs, inhale to the right. Push down to get tall. Lower your shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Let the shoulder blades press forward and lift you and make you a little taller. Press the left foot in, push the right foot in. Lift the left elbow. Press into the block with the right hand. Take the right hand off for a second. Make sure you're not leaning on it. Push down to get tall. Tuck the chin down towards the chest. Lengthen your body. Lower the shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Push those shoulder blades forward. Spinal rotation. Pulling on the vertebra. Creating strong vertebra here. Make sure your heart is lifted. You're stretching your spine from the belly button up to where the neck begins. Take one more breath. And then with length in your body, you're going to come out all the way. To a rest position here, a nice rest position could be that the soles of the feet are together. You hold on to your ankles, you sit nice and tall in your body. Move your body in whatever way it feels nice to do so. And then notice what you notice about the practice so far, what you feel in your body. From here, let's come onto a seated position on the blanket. So we're going to sit on the blanket. We're going to do a posterior chain, a back body strengthener. We're going to do a reverse plank, your choice of tabletop or of plank. You decide. The goal here is to push away from the floor with the back body. We'll hold this for 30 seconds, a little bit more intense to hold your body weight up like this. Fingers forward or out to the side if you need that. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other so you have a lot of support in your chest. And then you're either going to do this with bent knees or straight legs, you decide. Exhale. Now inhale, push away and come up into this posture. Push your fingertips into the floor. Push your hands into the floor. Push your heart up towards the sky. Now bring your awareness to the lower body. Push the legs, so either the feet or the heels, into the floor to lift your pelvis up away from the floor. With the muscles pushing away, the whole back body is pushing you up away from the floor. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Coming into a rest position, it could be kneeling, it could be crisscross, whatever is good for you. Close your eyes, elbows are underneath your shoulders. Tuck the chin down towards the chest, lengthen your spine, feel your body, feel your heart. Slow down the heart rate with breath. Moving between effort and ease. Take one more breath. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Let's take the hands behind the head, clasp the hands behind the head. Elbows are open, inhale, and then bring your elbows towards each other. Let your chin go down towards your neck without rounding the front of your spine. Inhale to open, look up where the wall and the ceiling meets. Exhale, long neck, chin to chest, elbows towards each other. Front spine does not collapse. Leave it long. Inhale and exhale. One more. And then bring yourself out. Take your hands on your shoulders. Shoulders are up, back, and down. So some of these postures we did, the plank, the side plank, and the reverse plank, can be a lot of work for shoulder joint and the muscles of the shoulder girdle. So bringing in a little lubrication, bringing in a little freedom here in case anything happened when you were doing that part of the practice today. And then take your hands, shake your wrists. Coming on to a stretching the front of our spine open. So we're going to do camel. So if you put the block between your ankles and you push into the block, you get some activation of the inner thigh muscles. If you contract your glutes and pull your glutes down towards the ground, you can take your back and relax your back. The hand position for camel could be that you clasp your hands, moving your hands away. You could hold on to your elbows. If you're able to come into a reverse prayer position, you could be reverse prayer at your sacrum, or you could put the fists on the top of the sacrum or top of the pelvis or the heels of the hands. So those are all the positions that you could use. You could also get a strap and put your hands in a strap and push out on the strap. That's also a nice thing to do. So choose the hand position today that works for you. I'm going to come into that reverse prayer because my wrists definitely need to be stretched a little bit more. So you put your hands on the sacrum or on the top of the pelvis, or clasp your hands, whatever you're going to do. Squeeze your block, squeeze your tushy, pull your tailbone down so you protect the low back. Then lower your shoulders, slide your shoulder blades towards each other, and then bend the upper spine. That is what we're doing with the camel, coming into a back bend here. So if you activate your glutes and you pull the tailbone down, that's a nice way to protect the low back. Elbows are pressing back, whatever position you're in. So you could clasp your hands reaching down, back, and up, or you could be reverse prayer, holding onto your elbows. Whatever you're doing, try to stretch the front of your spine. Get tall. Bring length into your body and stretch into your body. Take one more breath. And then when you come out, go slow, depending on what variation you did. Sitting back onto your block if you have it there, and if your knees will let you sit into your block, take a nice rest. It's a great way to put your spine into a neutral position is to sit on your block. Close your eyes, catch your breath. Take one more breath. And then blink your eyes open. We're going to come to the standing part of the practice. So bringing your block off to the side. If you need to do something other than what I share with you, you could try something different. If you are able to come into a squat position and come up from there, it's a really nice way to keep that strength in your joints. If that's too challenging, choose a different way to come up. But whatever you do, make sure you come up slowly, unloading out of the joints to bring yourself up. And then clearing your space, putting your props off to the side. So speaking of alignment, let's do mountain, which is the posture of alignment. This is working on stacking your joints. You have 206 bones in your body. Let's find joint alignment in our joints. So bringing the big toes so that they either touch or they're an inch or two apart, and the back heels have a more space between them, because there's more narrow at the back of our body. And then I want you to bring your awareness down to your feet, lift your toes, spread your toes, put the toes down in the most spread position possible. Feel all 5 toes touching the ground. Feel the ball of the foot touching. Then feel the center of your heels, the outside edge of the inside edge. Bring your hands down alongside your body. Reach down and back with your hands. Bring your awareness to your top thighs. Push your top thighs back, and that will give you a little bit of play in your pelvis to correct your pelvis. So push your top thighs back, and then point your tailbone down towards the ground and activate your pubic bone up towards your belly button. There's 5 ovals from our pelvis, our rib cage, and our skull. Let's arrange them. So you have the bottom opening at the bottom of the pelvis, and then you have the top opening of the pelvis. Arrange the bottom opening of your rib cage so it's right on top of the opening of your pelvis. Top opening of your rib cage aligned with the bottom opening of your skull. So your chin goes back and down, and you find that alignment. Hands are down and back. Bring your awareness through your body from your toes, all 5 on both feet, the ball of the foot, the heel, the pinky toe edge, the inner edge. Push the top thighs back, tailbone down, and then arrange your ovals and get tall. Feel this in your body. If you're able to close your eyes, feeling that alignment from ball of foot, whole sole of the foot, through the ankle, the knee, the hips. the whole spine from the tailbone, sacrum, the 5 lower lumbar vertebra, the 12 thoracic spine, the 7 cervical, and then the head. Take one more breath. And then open your eyes. So we're going to move into standing postures, trying to maintain that alignment as we start to move our limbs. The first one we're going to do is the warrior 2. So if you need to be near a wall for this, or if you need to have a chair, go ahead, put the chair in front of you or the wall behind you. And then from here, taking a very wide stance. Let's go to our left side first, even if it doesn't look the same way here, if we're being mirrored. Push your left foot into the floor, lift your left toe up. It's my left side. Toes move away from you. And then pick your right heel up, move your right heel away. Do a little bit to bend that left leg. Take your right hand on your thigh, slide the right hand down as you bend the left thigh, and then bring yourself out. Again, sliding down. Now push away from the right foot to do this. So warming up the lower body. If your knee goes forward of your ankle, then you need to widen your stance. On this next one, you're going to have your right hand on the back leg, take an exhale, and as you inhale, slide the right hand down past the knee, bringing the left hand up, and then bring both arms up. Now we're going to work on the posture here, because this works on upper body too. Look to your right, make sure your right arm is straight and about shoulder height, and then push your right arm back, look forward, left hand, shoulder height. Push away from the right foot. Go a little deeper in the lower body if you can to add more work in the lower body. And then squeeze your tushy, point your tailbone straight down towards the ground. Push your hands back, rip the floor apart with your feet. Now let's work on the upper body. Lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Push the shoulder blades forward to lift your heart, reaching long in your arms and deep in your hips if you can. Roll to the pinky toe edges or activate the pinky toe edges of your feet. Tailbone is pointing down. Push down with your hands and push up with your body. So be very active, reaching long and pushing back. Shoulder blades are towards each other. Go a little deeper if you can. Rip the floor apart. Push your left knee back. Don't let it cave in. Don't let it come forward. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up and out. Bring your toes forward, stay in this wide stance. Take your right foot away and left heel away. Take your left hand on the leg behind you. You're going to inhale a little to bend that front knee. And then make sure you push away from the back foot, the pinky toe edge to do this action. Exhale. And then inhale to load down into the warrior 2 on this side. Ripping the floor apart. Activating your glutes to point your tailbone down, and then look back at your left hand. Reach long with the fingers. Look forward to the right. Reach long. Push your hands back. Lower your shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Lift your heart up. And go a little lower if you can here. Push down with your hands, up with your body. Rip the floor apart, point the tailbone down, and go a little deeper. Maybe you can, maybe not. So these are just suggestions. Maybe it's part of your practice and maybe it's not. Do what's appropriate for you. Lift your heart, reach long with your hands, push back, rip the floor apart, pinky toe edges of your feet are active, arches are active. Deeper if you can. One more breath, and then bring yourself all the way up. Bring yourself all the way back to the mountain to catch your breath. Feel this in your body. Feel the feet, feel the thighs. Push the top thighs back. Tailbone is pointing down. And then shake your body. So we're going to do a posture called chair, We're going to do it at the wall because I want there to be a postural element to this. So for this, you need the blanket or the mat to be up against your wall. So it would be good to do this at the wall. If you don't do this at the wall, you could do this in the regular position out in the open. And today I'd like us to do chair with our arms in the scarecrow position to make sure that the upper body is nice and protected. So if you don't have the wall, you could do that away. If you do have the wall, take your feet away, make sure you're not slippery. So you have to have a mat that doesn't slide, no socks on. You want to stay safe when you practice. So you move your feet away, feel the stickiness of your mat, and make sure you walk away quite a bit. Then you place your sacrum on the wall, your shoulder blades on the wall, the center of your head on the wall. So the whole middle part of your body is on the wall. Take the arms out to the side if you're going to do that. And then you're going to slide down the wall to come into whatever depth is appropriate for your lower body. This is a lot of lower body work. So go as deep as you can for your ability. And then the arms come up into the scarecrow. Make sure the knees don't cave in, so keep the knees forward. Push your low back into the wall, push your sacrum into the wall. Push both arms into the wall if you can. Center of head, shoulder blades. Now, depending on where your posture is, you may not be able to get your arms onto the wall, the hands onto the wall, the wrists onto the wall. So keep practicing towards that. This is a way to gauge how much roundness or how much rotation exists in your spine. Tailbone, low back, shoulder blades, back of the head, back of the arms, back of the hands. Take one more breath. Now to come out, you bring your hands forward, bring your torso away, keep your spine nice and long, bring yourself up, bring yourself out and rest in mountain. Deep breaths. And then shake your body. So let's take the tension out of our mind and out of our body with something I learned in India, where we're going to bring the sound all the way up the spine to the base of the spine, which is where chronic stress exists, to the front of the brain, which is our conscious, intelligent brain, to out of our body. So here's how it goes. You take your hands on your low belly and you say, ha, 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 H-A-H-A, ha, ha, ha. Then you come to right by the diaphragm, you go, ho, ho, ho. Then you bring your hands up here, he, he. Bring your hands to the back of that bump in your head. This is where the amygdala is, the primitive brain, the stress response. Me, 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 me. And then bring your hands forward to the, and then go, go, go. So we're gonna do 3 rounds. It looks like this. Ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, 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 the, go, go, go. All right, 3 rounds of that. Take a big breath, inhale, and exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, me, the, go, go, go. Ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, the, go, go, go. Ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, the, go, go, go. Keep go, 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 go. And then notice the lightness that you feel, the what it's like to have fun and to release and to do that. So we're going to come down, we're going to do that final posture. We're going to let the integration of everything practiced today seep into your body as a new memory in your spine of better alignment, stronger alignment. So get whatever you need for this to come into a Shavasana. When you go down, make sure you go down safely, loading your joints, keeping your spine nice and long, coming down onto your back or whatever you're going to be doing for your Shavasana. Bring your limbs up into the air and shake, let everything settle. Finding the final rest pose today that speaks the most to you. Where would your body like to be for relaxation today? Stay with your breath, stay here. Let your awareness go up and down your spine, noticing what you notice. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Slowing down your breath. Breathe up and down your spine with awareness. In the nostrils, down the 7 neck spine. 12 that the ribs are attached to. 5 in the low back, sacrum, and tailbone. And start to bring movement into your body. Eventually drawing the knees into the chest. Take the knees wide, pressing the whole spine into the ground, rocking side to side. Bring yourself onto your side. From here, pressing yourself up to seated. Let your hands come together, pressing your hands to your heart. That also helps to keep you in a nice upright spinal position. Lengthen the back of the neck, tuck the chin down towards the chest. Let's close with sound. Today we'll make the sound of Om, which is a blending of sounds as you exhale and close your mouth. So when our mouth is open, the back of the throat, the sound produced is ah. As we start to close our mouth and the sound comes to the middle of the mouth, it takes on the vowel sounds of O or U. And as we close our mouth, we make the sound. Ah. It's a sound created from an open to closed mouth. Let your spine be long, tongue resting in the lower jaw. Neck is nice and long. Take a big exhale. Inhale. Bringing your hands to your forehead. We bow forward in our hip joint to give gratitude for the wisdom, for the practice, for the opportunity today to work on posture, spinal alignment. Anything and everything is perfect as it was, as it should be. Namaste. When I went to study in India, that was such a relief for me to learn that the Om sound is my exhale. It doesn't have to be like anything else I've heard or thought it should be. It is the ah at the back of the throat, the O or the U in the middle, and the ah. That's what the sound is. Every human sound will be whatever it is. There's 4 parts to the Om. There's the A sound, the ah, the U or the O or the U, and the and then silence. So at the end of the sound, you connect to silence. Thanks for practicing with me. Strong body, strong posture, strong, healthy spine. So important for healthy, happy aging. All right, so let's hear it, ladies. There might be men out there, but they usually don't let themselves be known. So I'm just assuming it's mostly ladies, unless there are men out there. And if there are, say hello. Patty, I see that you're here. So nice to have you out there. I want to know how this was for you all today. Held the postures for a long time, some of them longer than a minute. We did 11 postures today. Almost all of them were longer than a minute, except for reverse plank and side plank, which I find to be the harder postures. And ironically, I think that it's the back body and side body that we lack the most strength in, which leads to so many issues in our body. So it just goes to show that we're not as strong on the side, we're not as strong on the back, and that getting stronger on the side and the back of our body could be so valuable for spinal health, postural health, for hip health, knee health, low back health. And it's the way that we stimulate our vertebra and our spine. And that's where, in my experience over the years, thousands of women I've worked with bone health, the greatest or the highest numbers of bone density loss are in the spine. It's really important to work in our spine. Happy spine. Great class. All right, perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Good. Yes, thank you. Thanks for joining me. And some exciting things are in the works. I am working on creating a community, a membership, a monthly membership where we focus on all things happy, healthy aging, strong body, strong bones, strong balance, strong posture, strength, strong minds, all of it. Perfect. Great. Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. All right. Goodbye.